Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video was requested by a couple people. It was on how I apply my foundation and how to contour the face. Honestly, I was super sketch about it just because I know everybody's face shape is different. So I know that the contouring kind of works differently for everybody. But I figured, hey, what the hell? Why not show you guys what I do? So I'm going to be showing you what products I use, the steps that I do it in, and what works for me. I really hope that you guys find this helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's get to it. Okay, so like I've said before, I like to do my eye makeup first and then I like to do my face after. So that's why my eyes are already done. I moisturized my skin already as soon as I got out of the shower. But the next thing that I like to do right before I start applying like foundation and start contouring and all that is my face primer. I'm really into pore fillers because, let me zoom in on this. I have so many pores, like it's crazy. So I like to use a pore filler so that when I apply my foundation, it gives it a nice smooth look and you can't see so much of all those little crevices. I received a blurring primer, whatever, pore filler, from my BoxyCharm from CoverFX. It looks like this. And honestly, I freaking loved it. Like, it literally totally covered all my little pores right here. I like to use them over like my wrinkles too. I get smile wrinkles and I get forehead wrinkles, so I like to put it in there. I don't know, in my head I think it helps. So I'm going to show you guys right now how it works on my skin and how well it does on covering the pores. So I'm gonna zoom in on this one. I usually just use my finger to apply. Can we see the holes? Of course you can see the holes. You can see them from Pluto if you wanted to. So I got some on my finger and I'm gonna start to apply it. You're gonna immediately see the difference. And ignore the fact that my nails are way overgrown. So I just kind of like pat it and rub it into the pores. Okay, now look. So you see this side? Smooth. Holy moly. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and zoom this back out, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and apply it now to the other side. I don't know if, I should probably Google this. I'm not sure how one gets such huge pores. Is it because I like don't take good care of my skin? Or is it genetics? I already just look a little more alive. I know I was looking dead a little bit ago. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and just pin my hair back a little bit. Expose the big forehead. After I apply my blurring primer, I actually like to let it sit there for a while. I don't like put it on and then immediately put on my foundation because then I feel like it doesn't really like sink in. So the foundation that I'm going to be applying today, I'm actually going to mix a little bit of both. I'm going to be mixing the Maybelline Fit Me, the matte poreless one, in natural beige. Still got the Walgreens sticker on it. And then I'm going to be mixing the NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop foundation in the shade Natural. So I like to use a beauty blender to apply my foundation, so I'm going to be using the Real Techniques beauty blender. So I go ahead and soak this under water and then I squeeze the shit out of it until I have like pretty much all the water out and it's just like damp. That's going to avoid your beauty blender from absorbing any of the foundation because these can literally absorb so much. You're gonna find yourself running out of foundation like crazy when all you have to do is just wet it a little bit. It still soaks up foundation honestly, but not as much. So I do want to mention before I get started on my foundation, whenever I have like these little like red marks on my face, which I will get them because I'm pale AF, so I get red super easily. So I kind of have like some scarring in some areas. You'll see like these little like red marks. A lot of you know, but for those of you who don't, the green cancels out the red. So get yourself a little green concealer. This is actually the LA Girl Pro Concealer. I apply it anywhere that I have a little bit of red. So these little like red marks on my face. I go ahead and just like rub it in a little bit. I spread it out evenly. And then when I go ahead and apply my foundation, it kind of like really neutralizes out the redness. Now I'm going to go ahead and apply my foundation. The Maybelline Fit Me Foundation, it doesn't have like a pump or any kind of way for me to really get this out. So it looks totally ridiculous, but this is how I do it, so don't judge my life. Okay, bye. I pretty much just put a little bit like this. And then I kind of go like this. Yes, that's it. And then I use the pump on the NYX one since they were smart and put one on. And then I pretty much just start working it through. And those parts that you put the green, make sure you really work those through, because you are not trying to be looking like you got some green on your skin. That's gonna make you look like you're sick or something. I love seeing it come on when I have my eye makeup on. It really starts to just pull my look together, and I'm like, yes, there she is. So I be getting like all over here. And I start working my way like kind of underneath my neck. So you want to work it kind of like, I know you're like, damn girl, how far behind your ear are you going to go? But I just want to make sure I have it evenly blended. So I'm just going to get right under here. I like to like hold back my baby hairs. Okay, so now that I've applied my foundation comes the fun parts. Contouring. Like, honestly, contouring, like many others, I'm sure, has changed my life, because there's one thing that I have and always have been insecure about, and that is, can you guess? Boom! My forehead. Honestly, like in high school, like I would never pull my hair back. And I know that like the big heavy side bangs were in, but nah, like mine's, let me show y'all. Mine's literally started from like the middle of my head, and they were like this. Oh my god, that's high school me! But if I had contouring back then, psh, I'd have been golden. So today I'm gonna be using the Wet n Wild contour stick. It's gonna look like this. Got this for about $5, and I'm also gonna be using the Maybelline Age Rewind concealer. Looks like this. So I'm gonna start with all of the areas that I want to make brighter. So I'm gonna start with right underneath my eye. And I'm gonna do the same thing. Ew! On this side. I'm gonna put a little bit right here. I'm gonna go down the bridge of my nose. And I'm gonna go like this. Next, I'm gonna use my Wet n Wild contour stick. So let's start with my forehead. This can take a big ass backseat. So I'm gonna just go like this. And I'm gonna do the same thing over here. I'm going to do my nose, and I'm gonna get like this side right here, because I want it to appear a little thinner. I want to make it look like I got a nose job. I don't want the actual nose job. As straight as I can. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. And then I'm gonna go like this. And then I'm gonna try to create some cheekbones here, because Lord knows I don't have any cheekbones. You're supposed to feel for your cheekbone and then go right underneath it. I'm like, I guess I could feel it, but honestly, I just kind of guesstimate where it's at. So I'll just go like this. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. And you wanna try to make sure that you get them as even as possible, because you don't want a pretend cheekbone up here and a pretend cheekbone down here. Okay, so usually this is what I have. A lot of people, they'll take the contour stick and they'll run it across their jawline. I'm gonna do that with a little bit of powder later. I don't like to use this because every time I've tried to do it, I look like I have 5 o'clock shadow, and I don't want that. Now I'm gonna use that same beauty blender that I used to apply my foundation, and I'm going to start to blend out my, like the concealer part. And then I'm gonna blend out the nose part. Now to blend out the contouring part, I'm gonna actually use a brush for that one. This one's from Real Techniques. So I'm just gonna start working this through in this kind of like up and down, but at the same time I'm doing like circular motions. So I don't know why I make that face. Does everyone make that face? Okay, whatever. So you can see it's starting to create that sort of cheekbone. Bam! I'm going to finish off with the forehead. And then I even like to, like, while I'm blending it out, like work it down and then right back into the cheekbone. So now that I've finished blending through all of the like highlight and contoured areas, I'm going to go in with my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil. I think it's pronounced Soleil. in medium to deep bronzer, and I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit on all of the areas that I contoured, just to kind of set it. Not too much, just a little bit. And I squeeze my brush and I go right beside my nose. And I know it's gonna look crazy right now, but I blend it out later. Then a little bit on my forehead. And then a little bit along my jawline. The next game changer that came into my life that I wish would have been around a long time ago, which probably was, but I wasn't on game yet, is baking my face. So I like to use the Airspun baking powder. There's a lot of like higher end ones, but this is a really good drugstore one that I feel like does the job. Again, Walgreens sticker. Clearly, I stay at Walgreens. It comes in a big container like this. I always make a mess with this stuff. Baking is really important because it's gonna pretty much set your face. It's gonna make it last way longer. It'll help you not get as oily, and it'll make your face look a lot like more matte. So the areas that I like to bake my face are the areas that I would get oily. So pretty much the T-zone, and I like to bake like over my smile wrinkles and alongside the cheekbone part that I contoured. So I use my beauty blender to apply the baking powder, and before I start baking, sometimes I'll start getting those wrinkles again on my forehead or on my smile lines. I obviously don't want the baking powder to sit into those lines and leave it for it to stay like that. So I like to like go over again with my beauty blender the wrinkles to like kind of flatten them out a little bit before I apply it. So like this. So what I did with my bronzer was kind of like I set already the contouring with that bronzer powder. So now I'm going to set all the areas I pretty much highlighted. I'll create like, I'll do the pinchy thing again, and I'll kind of just create the line right there. And then I'll go under the eye, because a lot of the times people's concealer tends to get all like oily and clunked together underneath your eye. So a lot of people always wonder like, how long are you supposed to bake for? 5-10 minutes is cool. So next I'm gonna follow like right underneath that contour line. I always like to think I'm going from like the middle of my ear in like a diagonal. And then you're gonna do the same thing on the other side, and just like everything else, you wanna make sure it's even. Oh well, that's even enough for me. So this is basically how I bake my face, and then I let it sit there for a little bit, and then I'm gonna brush it off in a minute. Why'd I look like I was playing the drums? Okay, so now I'm ready to go ahead and dust off the baking powder. In the meantime, I just went ahead and put a little bit of eyeshadow on my bottom eyelid, and I added a little bit of mascara on the bottom, and some eyebrow gel, and a little bit of highlight on my nose. So now I'm gonna go ahead and dust off this baking powder. And you wanna make sure you really get it all off. It has really just like set everything in. And of course, now that I'm done dusting off the baking powder, I'm gonna go ahead and use my Wet n Wild setting spray. And then now is when I'm gonna go ahead and highlight my face, but I already made a video for you guys like that. If you haven't seen it, make sure to go check it out. So that's gonna go ahead and be the end of today's video on how I apply my foundation, how I contour my face, and what products I used. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, and thanks for watching.